Imagine this for a moment. You are standing in a quiet room thousands of years ago with an idea that could change the future, a discovery, a law, or a story worth remembering. But there's one problem. There's no pen, no notebook, no keyboard, no ink cartridge, just your mind and the fear that your idea might disappear forever. Today we rarely think about writing tools. A pen sits in a drawer on a desk or in a pocket and feels ordinary, almost invisible. But for most of human history, writing something down was difficult, messy, and sometimes permanent in ways we can barely imagine. So here's the question that starts our journey. Before pens existed, how did humans write? The answer takes us back more than 5,000 years. Around 3200 BCE in ancient Mesopotamia, humans began recording information using a system we now call cuneiform. But they were not writing on paper because paper did not exist yet. Instead, people used clay tablets, soft clay that was fresh and wet. And the writing tool was not a pen but a stylus usually made from a small piece of reed or wood. And the writer pressed the tip into the clay to create wedge-shaped marks. Think about that process for a moment. Each word required physical pressure. Each mistake stayed there. And once the clay dried, the message became permanent. A grocery list, a tax record, a trade agreement, a royal decree all preserved in clay. Thousands of these tablets still exist today because once clay hardens, it remembers everything. But human curiosity never stops evolving, and by around 3000 BCE, something remarkable happened along the Nile River. The ancient Egyptians invented papyrus. Papyrus was made by slicing thin strips from the papyrus plant, layering them, pressing them together, and drying them into sheets. So for the first time, writing could happen on something lighter and portable, yet there was still no pen. Egyptian scribes used reed pens. They cut the end of a reed plant into a pointed tip and dipped it into ink made from soot and water. Dip. Right? Dip again. Ow. The process required patience and control, and writing was not casual but a skilled profession. Scribes were respected members of society because they recorded history, law, religion, and science. And without them, entire civilizations would have faded into silence. Think about that. The survival of human knowledge once depended on a simple reed and a steady hand. Centuries passed, empires rose and fell, and writing tools kept evolving. By around the 6th century, a new tool became dominant in Europe: the quill pen. The quill pen was made from the feather of a large bird, usually a goose, and sometimes a swan. The hollow feather shaft held a small amount of ink, and the tip was sharpened into a nib. This tool transformed writing because quills were flexible, precise, and capable of beautiful strokes. And the flowing handwriting we see in historical manuscripts often came from quill pens. Think about documents that shaped the modern world: scientific notes, philosophical arguments. Political revolutions, many of them were written with quills. Yet quills had problems too. They wore down quickly. Writers had to constantly sharpen them with a knife. Ink spilled easily. Writing required constant dipping into an ink bottle. It worked, but it was not efficient. Then came a turning point. In 1827, a Romanian inventor named Petre Ponaru patented one of the earliest versions of the fountain pen, design that used an internal ink reservoir. So for the first time, ink traveled directly to the nib without constant dipping, making writing smoother, faster, and more reliable. But the real revolution came a century later, when in 1938, Hungarian journalist Lselbo invented the modern ballpoint pen. Instead of liquid ink flowing through a nib, the pen used a tiny rotating metal ball at the tip. The ball picked up thick ink from inside the pen and rolled it onto the paper. No dipping, no constant sharpening, no messy ink bottles. Just press the tip to paper and write. That simple mechanism changed everything because ballpoint pens became cheap, portable, and durable. And for the first time in human history, almost anyone could carry a writing tool everywhere. Students, scientists, journalists, doctors, engineers, and ideas could move instantly from mind to paper. But here's the deeper thought most people never consider. Every great idea in history had a fragile moment when it only existed in someone's mind before the paper, before the document, before the book, just a thought waiting to be written, and the writing tool mattered more than we think. Imagine Isaac Newton trying to remember every observation without writing, or researchers today trying to track experiments without notes. Writing tools are not just instruments. They are bridges between thought and reality, because a pen turns invisible ideas into visible evidence. And that brings us to something surprisingly personal. A pen is also a metaphor for life. Every day, each of us is writing something. Not always on paper, but through decisions, through habits, through actions. Think about a researcher writing a long paper. Every sentence builds the argument, and every paragraph shapes the conclusion. Life works the same way. Small actions repeated daily eventually form a story. There is a quiet lesson hidden inside the history of the pen. The tool evolved slowly from clay styluses to reeds to feathers to fountain pens to ballpoints. and each step solved a problem while each generation improved the tool. Human progress often looks exactly like that, not one dramatic leap, but thousands of small improvements. A better idea, a better design, a better way to express what we know. And the most powerful thing about a pen is this: it does not care who holds it. The same tool can write a grocery list or a scientific breakthrough. It can record ordinary moments or ideas that change the world, which means the real power has never been the pen itself, but the mind behind it. Think about how many ideas today disappear before they are written down: a thought during a walk, a concept during a meeting, a sudden insight before sleep. History reminds us that ideas only survive when someone captures them. 5,000 years ago, it was clay, later papyrus, then feathers, then metal nibs, then ballpoints, and today we have keyboards, tablets, and digital notes. Yet the principle is exactly the same. Human civilization advances because someone writes something down: a question, a theory, a story worth remembering. So the next time you pick up a pen, pause for a second, because you are holding the final result of thousands of years of human problem solving, a tool refined across civilizations, a small instrument that quietly shaped science, philosophy, law, and history. And maybe the most important thought of all is this: somewhere in the world right now, someone is writing the first line of an idea that could change the future. The real question is, what ideas are still sitting in your mind waiting to be written? And if a simple pen helped build human civilization, what might happen when the right idea finally reaches the page? If this story made you see something ordinary in a completely new way, then you will definitely want to watch the next video. Because in the next episode, we explore a surprising mystery about writing tools that most people have never even questioned. And once you hear it, you will never look at a pen the same way again. So click the next video and let us keep uncovering the hidden power behind the smallest tools in human history.